St. Just approached a vehicle where another man and teenager were sitting. A confrontation broke out between both, which escalated to that shooting, and St. Just at the scene. Both the man and teen stayed on scene. They were detained and released. The case will now be sent to a grand jury.
And come to find out, my cousin gets shot by his best friends. Somebody that he grew up with. Somebody out, the mamas know each other.
Allegedly, a young man and a supposed to be friend by the name of Lil Bill started making subliminal remarks about taking Donnie's life. Crazy. Donovan would tell his mother, who I will refer to as A, that he basically needed to leave town before something bad happened.
Yo, face! Yo, your face, please! With sugar on top!
Alright, y'all, now, this is a story of a young man who was backdoored by his own friend due to him doing things the right way and trying to make a living for himself. This is a kid that said he didn't want to be in the streets despite most of his friends being in them, and decided he was going to be different and figure life out the way he wanted to. Now, in today's climate, that's rare because we live in a world where instant gratification is bigger than anything, and most of these kids crash out because all they want to do is stunt and look cool on social media in a short time. Nobody rather work anymore, and this leads to kids doing anything to look like they're living a luxurious lifestyle, whether it's scamming, robbing, stealing, taking lives for money, which we call hits, and so forth. But here it is, a kid that did things different, made something of himself, and provided what he wanted the right way, the legal way, and he was shot and unalive because of a jealous friend who envied the materialistic things that he had. So we're going to get into this story, and hopefully this serves as a reminder, y'all, to be aware of the people around you. No matter how much you think you know someone, no matter how much you think you could trust them, and this goes for friends and sometimes even family members. Alright, shout out to M. Keisha Investigates. I left a link pinned in the comments to the original video, so if you would like to see more of her content, y'all could go support there. Now in the meantime, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm, and if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
I had a weird feeling all day, you know what I'm saying? Weird feeling all day. Wasn't motivated, didn't want to really do anything, wanted to stay in the house. It's snowing. I wanted to be in the house with my babies. And come to find out, my cousin gets shot by his best friends. Somebody that he grew up with. Somebody out, the mamas know each other. Been in each other's houses. And got set up by your own so-called brothers. Your bros. You know how wild that is? It makes me want to reconsider anybody I've ever called bro.
And you know what's funny? I do a lot of these stories, especially in Chicago. I don't know what it is with Chicago, but this happens a lot. Somebody you call your friend, bro, they end up taking each other's firearm and backdooring each other, right? It's crazy. And these guys literally be friends. Like I'm talking about, they grew up with each other in the whole 9 yards, but they develop so much tension with each other, and instead of just fighting it out like normal people do if y'all were friends, they take each other's lives. That's crazy.
Ever call a friend because you never know their true mentality. You don't know what they really want to do to you.
Today we will be in Roanoke, Virginia, a city that sits along the Roanoke River in the Blue Ridge Range of the Great Appalachian Mountains. The area is considered the most visited unit in the National Park System and is a favorite travel destination. The area also attracts many international visitors who, like others, take advantage of the many opportunities from camping, hiking, picnicking, and biking. However, even with all the scenic beauty that the city has to offer, it also has its fair share of crime in concentrated areas like most places. On February 20th, 2025, on the 100 block of Laconia Avenue Northeast, two friends allegedly met up and would have a disagreement that would turn fatal, with the victim's family quickly accusing the supposed-to-be friend of setting the whole thing up out of envy and jealousy. At 22 years old, Donovan St. Just, who also went by Donnie, knew that if he wanted to be successful, he needed to work hard. Working hard would come easy, because it was something he did almost his entire life on the basketball court. Growing up, he loved the game, and year after year, he got better and better on the court, spending a lot of his time perfecting his craft. By the time he reached high school, he was standing at 6'2" and was a big-time playmaker. While attending William Flemings High School, he was said to be smooth and aggressive 3-level scorer with great body control and athleticism to take things to the next level. After finishing school in 2021, at some point, he left his hometown, but ultimately came back and had desires to make bigger moves still for his future. While remaining in Roanoke, he decided to take a good job building structural components as a welder, making really good money. While there, he would work 10-hour days and never shied away from taking on overtime. He wanted to build his future doing the right thing with his money that he worked so hard for. However, at the same time, some of the very people that were supposed to be his close friends, people he knew his entire life, became jealous. His shine in life was different because he was the person who 100% made it happen, while his friends allegedly chose the street life and doing things the illegal way. However, Donovan grew to realize that his so-called friends were becoming jealous and salty.
And let me tell you the crazy part, because I see this all the time. You got guys who are literally in the street, right, risking their freedom, and some reason they always broke. How you in the street? Listen, let me tell you, you could never be too good to get a damn job, right? Let me say this again. You could never be too good to get a damn job. I used to say I'll never have a job. Once my back went against that wall and I realized I ain't got no money, I had to get a job. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do in order to do what you wanna do. Simple as that.
Donovan's mother knew all of his friends from young kids and mostly all of the parents as well. So when trouble started brewing, she made sure to keep everything her son ever sent her. This is one of the posts and messages she shared on social media that her son was seeing.
All right, so this is his friend. Twin caught the one he wanted. I told him the tall one on me. Sheesh. He sent this message to his mother. It says, he talking about me, LOL. It may be best for me to go ahead and move to NC because if not, I'm going to do something to that boy first. It'll just be a little hard for me at first handling the payments. But once I get up a little more, it'll be easier and I'll be fine. Damn. Now, basically, he knew that his friend was plotting against him. And instead of, indulging in the bull crap, he like, yo, let me just get out of here. So, and that's smart. He like, yo, listen, I don't want to,
Allegedly, a young man and a supposed to be friend by the name of Lil Bill started making subliminal remarks about taking Donnie's life.
Crazy.
Donovan would tell his mother, who I will refer to as A, that he basically needed to leave town before something bad happened. However, things are not always just that easy, and with him already having a career making good money, he knew he needed to save up to be able to leave town. The plan was set and the move was clear, and he was just waiting for the right time financially to move. Come January 31st, 2025, his family received some devastating news as his maternal grandmother had passed away. It was a hard blow for A, losing her mother, who she loved dearly, and she sadly did not get to fully grieve that loss before an even bigger tragedy would hit home. On February 20th, A was set out to go pick up her mother's certificate of her passing, and around the same time, she got a call that no mother wants to receive. Donovan had been shot and sadly unalived by one of his so-called friends on the 100 block of Laconia Avenue Northeast.
Damn. So she's going to pick up the death certificate for her mother, and then while she's doing that, she gets a call that her son has been shot and unalive. Could you imagine that back to back? Like, those are two people that's close. Like, it's one thing to lose a family member, and that's still tragic. You lose a cousin, a nephew, whatever. You lose your mother and your son all in a short period of time, and you get the news that you just lost your son while you're picking up your mother's death certificate? Crazy.
According to the preliminary investigation, two people were sitting in a vehicle outside of the home when Donovan drove up in his car, and at some point a confrontation occurred between one of the people and Donnie, resulting in a shooting. The two people stayed on scene and allegedly claimed self-defense after that crime took place.
We begin tonight with breaking news at 6 o'clock. We want to let you know police are on the scene of a homicide in the 100 block of Laconia Avenue near Williamson Road.
We have two people involved in the incident that are currently being interviewed by detectives, but at this time they have not been formally charged.
Officials say 22-year-old Donovan St. Just approached a vehicle where another man and teenager were sitting. A confrontation broke out between both, which escalated to that shooting, and St. Just at the scene. Both The man and teen stayed on scene. They were detained and released. The case will now be sent to a grand jury.
See, 9 times out of 10, this was premeditated because they waited for him by his house. Now, they claim it was self-defense, and that's probably their story, the narrative, of course. But here's my thing. Why was y'all by his house? Right? Why did he come up to the car? But why was y'all by his house? Right? Now, what transpired? Because now when a grand jury or the police, whoever, when they hear the story, you got to ask yourself, right? A couple common sense questions. Why did he go up to the car in the first place? What transpired? And why did y'all shoot him? 2 of y'all. Crazy.
A, who was still mourning from her mother, said on social media, "They've been plotting on my son. It was all a setup. They're really trying to paint this innocent story. God knows, and so do I. Donovan was a hardworking man with goals and dreams. I'm going to make sure the world knows about each and every monster that was messing with him before I rest my soul."
See? Right? Now, also, when you go back to the messages, where he pretty much sent his mother and let it be known, listen, they talking about me, they talking about doing something to me, I'm gonna end up having to do something first, because if the man's already talking about taking his life, he's like, listen, maybe when he see me, I might have to do something first, or it's gonna be me. But at the end of the day, it seemed like he was trying to get away. These guys went to his house. What was y'all doing? That's the number one question. What was y'all doing outside of his house in the first place?
Another loved one wrote, "So this is the second boy you have unalived and tried to play like it was self-defense. He didn't need to steal or break into a thing. He was a whole welder. My little cousin had more money than all of you broke little boys. Road cleaner than all of you broke little boys legitimately. Y'all grew up with all my cousins. His mama watched you all grow up, and then you're the same people behind the trigger of a gun trying to play victim. Ain't no way my little cousin would have pulled up on BS without his people with him. People hate to see you shining. I wish you would have never came back to this dirty city." The crazy thing is, he had already spoken his piece about y'all before all of this stuff went down. Donovan's mother would also share some of their text conversations and said that her son stayed inspiring her, and she was so proud of the man he grew into.
Damn, man. Have a good night. Love you more. I just came across this video. Damn. Yeah, that's...
He was everything a mother would want in a son, and all she prayed he would be. She did a great job of directing him down the right path, but unfortunately some negative so-called friends got in the way of his greatness. The alleged friend, who was claiming some sort of self-defense, had no regard for human life and continues to taunt people.
And where Donovan thought he was King Von, ain't it? Oh. See, but here's another thing too, y'all. We don't know what Donovan was into, right? This reminds me of the kid from Philadelphia who was playing basketball and was, well, his name is Noah Scurry. He was doing what he was doing in the streets, but if you ask any of his teachers or his mom, they were saying he's a good kid. He played basketball. He scored the highest SAT scores at his school, but the whole time he was a whole demon. Now, could this be a situation of the same thing where even though he was a welder, went to school, a good kid, was he in the street still doing, his dirt? Maybe. But I don't know. I just can't see it. Who knows?
Making posts like this and acting as if Donovan's life did not matter. Donnie and one of his cousins who came to town for their grandmother's funeral had a long discussion just days before he lost his life. He would take to social media to express his grief.
Condolences to my aunt losing her firstborn, bro. I got 2 kids myself, and I couldn't fathom where my head would be to get a phone call saying that my kid is gone.
Especially when you know your kid ain't even on it like that. That's the worst thing.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't. So right then and there, Auntie, when you see this, if you see this, I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow after things kind of settle. Pray for her. Pray for the whole family, but pray for her especially. To bury your mom 1 week and then have to deal with this another week.
Word. Most
people can't handle that. So please pray for her. But yeah, man, y'all in that city, bro. Y'all need to do better, bro. And it ain't even that. Y'all need to do better. Y'all need to hold each other accountable. But especially you got these young kids walking around with guns and shit like that, acting like they somebody that they not. And you know the crazy thing about it, man? I told Donovan, I said, a lot of these out here that carry the guns out here go to the city fair and couldn't walk alone. But now they gangsters because they got a pistol. Now all of a sudden, a couple years from now, they gangsters.
You know what's the crazy part too? That's a bad mix. And them people, and by them people, I think y'all know who I'm talking about. But them people knew what they was doing when they allowed guns to be in the hands of kids. Y'all gotta remember, kids don't know any better, right? A lot of these kids that make these silly decisions when they're their age, 9 times out of 10, when they get older and really realize what life is really about, they'll think back like, damn, I was bugging out. Damn, I shouldn't have did that. Damn, I shouldn't have did this and got me in jail for 40, 50 years. But by that time, it's too late. But you gotta remember, a kid's mind is not developed. So think about it. You putting a firearm in a kid's hand whose mind isn't developed, who got pride issues, who got issues with being peer pressured by his friends, and it's too much. So this is why we got a lot of violence going on.
Everybody gangsters. You get a little iron, bro, get you a couple bullets, and now you're a gangster. Now you hard, bro. I don't get it, bro. And I know this conversation is kind of everywhere because my mind is just not there right now, bro. Looking in somebody's eyes and know they got a big future ahead, and you have conversation to them, and I told him, I said, hey, bro, come to the 757, bro. Come to the 757 with me. Come. I told y'all my family that came to that funeral. I said, hey, man, y'all need to come. Come to the 757. Ain't shit here. Said it all. Everybody was laughing. Ha, ha, ha. It's real, bro. It is a curse. Roanoke is a curse.
This is just very heartbreaking that a young man's life was stolen from him for nothing, and now his mother has to plan another funeral all within weeks of each other.
Crazy.
Naturally, her pain and hurt runs deep, but after a little reflection, she wrote, "Thanks to everyone who prayed for me and reached out. I've calmed down. I've spent time today in the gym playing basketball in his memory. I watched my son live in fear for about a year, and I seriously don't want to see anyone else's child live like that. I would like to just sit down peacefully and speak to the person who shot my son. I know his family, and I know that they loved Donovan when they were younger. They were like brothers for real. No retaliation. I just want to let my baby go in peace. I do not want to go fund me. However, I would like to see someone put together a basketball tournament in his memory. This here is the level of peace that only God can give, and I just pray that she is covered and protected in peace if that meeting does happen." A lot of people will not be able to do that after such a tragedy, and my thoughts and prayers are with her and the family in this difficult time. Donovan's life surely mattered, and he should still be here. He was working towards all his heart desires, and now that is all over in the blink of an eye. He is now forever 22 years young, and that should not be the case. I'm sure he would have gone on to do great things in the future, but now no one will ever see all the positive potential he had in store. May his memory live on through all those who truly loved him. Please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in this difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.
All right, y'all. That's pretty much it, man. It's very unfortunate because this happens more than we actually know. This is just one of the few videos that I guess shed light on it, but this happens in the hood a lot. Like I told y'all earlier, in Chicago, it happens way more than people think, because every time we cover stories like this, it always ends up being a friend that backdoored this one, that backdoored that one. And it's crazy because these kids glorify taking each other's lives, and they be friends. They call each other slime master, backdoor king, cutthroat this. All that means is you have no problem setting somebody up that you thought or was your friend, but you just so reckless that you just don't care. Right? How does it get to a point to where somebody you grew up with, somebody you know, their mother, their brother, whoever, you get to a point to where you want to take their life? If you fight, that's one thing, but you want to take their life. Crazy, man. And this situation was weird because it was just all about jealousy. You know, the kid was doing his thing. He wasn't in the street, but I guess that's how it goes, man. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.